Hello everyone, it's Sheila and welcome to my channel. So today I am here to update you on my life, to fill you in because I have an MIA for a while and I just want to come on and give you a very quick life update and kind of fill you in on where I've been, what's been going on in my life. But before I do that, I want to share with you all this nail polish that I'm wearing. Can y'all see that? Are you looking? Are you being blindsided? Yes, this is such a beautiful nail polish. I got this nail polish the other day. It is called Glow Stick and it's from the brand Orlay and I absolutely love it. Downfall though, this polish doesn't last a long time. So if you're looking for a long wearing nail polish, this is not the one, but it sure will be cute for a small amount of time. I want to give you, as I'm giving you all my life update, I'm going to be sharing with you all some things that I feel like through what has just recently happened to me that I maybe can share and pass this along with you all, because I do believe that God takes us through certain things for certain reasons, for us as learning experiences as well as for others to learn from. So we're just going to get right into it. I'm ship of a friend. I recently went through a breakup with a friend. I'm going to title this as being like losing a marriage, because this friend and I have been friends for, I'm going to say 30 years. It hasn't been quite 30 years, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to say 30 years. We've been through a lot together and the friendship was ended by her and it left me blindsided. I had no idea what was going on. I to this day still have no idea what's going on. I did want to take some time out for myself and just kind of, just reflect back on the person I am and asking myself what kind of friend I am, making sure that I haven't wronged her in any kind of way. So I did take some time off to do that, and that was one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to step back from social media a little bit. I just wanted to just not be on YouTube. I wanted to just think about everything that was going on, and I really relived our 30 years of friendship. I relived the last 2 months that she referred to in the outburst of her breaking up our friendship. So I really wanted to reflect all that. So I did spend that time doing so. And so basically in lieu of breaking up our friendship, my friend basically felt as though I was not giving her adequate time, that I was being selfish, and that I was not being the friend to her that she needed me to be. Now, the problem with that is that I had no idea, because we have spent numerous amount of time together over the last few months. We're basically inseparable. We talk every day. We visit back and forth from one house to another. We go out to lunch, dinner. We've had happy hour. We have literally been intertwined, as we often have been over the 30 years, but actually the last few months we have literally been intertwined. Like we do so much together. All of our friends aren't friends with each other, so we know that there are times that we may go and do stuff with other friends, but the two of us are always like, we're core friends. Like we don't get caught up in that neediness and all that kind of stuff. We know that you can call me day or night. If you need me, I'm there. So basically, I think what happened, and I don't know this to be exact, but I feel that when I was trying to reflect and piece together everything that was going on, I think basically what happened is that she needed me and she felt like I wasn't there. The problem is that she didn't stress to me that she needed me at that particular moment. We missed each other's calls a couple of times. Or I missed her call the first time. The second time I was on my phone dealing with another person having a situation that had already expressed to me that they were having a bit of an emergency. Now, my friend, because I had never received anything from her reflecting that she needed me ASAP or she was having an emergency. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I want to share with you something that I want to share with you some news and we'll chat later. So I never felt the urgency that something needed to be, that I needed to be there right then and there. But the call that I was on, this person had relayed to me that they needed me right then and there. So I made the decision to handle that situation first. And I guess that's what set all of this off. So basically, when I called my friend to try to figure out everything that was going on, we had several text messages back and forth, some pretty, hateful things being said to me, and me trying to figure out, asking questions. I decided, I'm just gonna pick up the phone. I'm just gonna call because I don't understand what's going on. And from the phone call, there was just a lot of anger, a lot of things she said to me that was very hateful and things that were just so not in character of our friendship. And I realized at some point that there was no way that I was going to be able to communicate with her. So I allowed her to just blow and blow and blow, and she blew for a while. And when she was finished blowing, she just hung up. She ended it by saying she was ending that she was completely done with me, and she hung up. So that told me that our friendship was null and void, that it was done. And so as I was taking my time to reflect back on everything, I asked God to help me understand and help me to make this, to help me put all this into perspective. So from this, that's why I wanted to do this video today, other than just letting you know what's going on in my life. But this video is really the last time for me that I'm going to deal with this situation. I've reflected enough to know that I didn't do anything to warrant the way she treated me. And so I'm not going to spend my time trying to make something, to try to figure this all out. I've said my piece. I've done everything I know possible. So I want to talk with you all a little bit about communication. Now, in this situation, at no point, I feel that there was a lack of communication there. I felt like if she needed me so bad, all she had to do was relay that information to me. And I would have been there, as I've been there for the last 30 years. And as she's been there for me. When I've needed her, I'm not going to hesitate. If I'm texting her, if I'm calling her, or if I just show up on her doorstep, because we've done that. If I need her, she's going to know it. And in the past, whenever she's needed me, I've known it. So for me, I was so blindsided by the fact that I had no idea of the seriousness. I still don't know what she needed me for, because it's never been relayed to me. So that's why I want to talk about communicating, how important it is to communicate with someone that you're in a relationship with. And when I speak of relationship, this is any type of relationship, friendship, marriage, whatever. A relationship is a relationship. If you cannot, you have to be able to communicate with that person. When something bothers you, let that person know. Don't wait until it all builds up, until, weeks later, months later, and you can sit there then at that point and talk about the last 10 years of every time they did something to upset you or hurt you. When something happens, or you feel in some type of way, you're feeling neglected, you're feeling like that person isn't showing you enough attention, whatever the case may be, sit down with that person and communicate that to that person. Now also be reminded that when a person is communicating with you, you have to be good on that receiving end. You have to know that what they're communicating is their feelings. They're not communicating necessarily what you have reflected your feelings about it. They're reflecting to you their feelings. So don't be upset. You need to listen to them as they communicate to you their feelings, and then you need to sit down together and discuss like what you were meaning by your actions and how they were receiving that information as you were letting it out. Through that form of communication, hopefully you're able to put it to rest what the interference is and be able to have a better understanding. But if you're not communicating, it's never going to happen. The next thing that I want to talk about is in that I felt like she allowed herself to become so angry, and she never reflected back on what type of friend I have been to her. Now, I've been a person that over the years, and not to her, but just her, but to everyone, we all have certain things about us that God has blessed us with. And God has blessed me with the ability to listen and that ability to just be there for people when they need me. So I'm totally okay with that. And so, and me always being that person that has been there for her, and her knowing me for 30 years, 30 years of knowing me, would know that I would never just neglect you or never just ignore you. That if you have a situation, when you communicate it to me, I'm going to be right there. But if you don't communicate it to me, now there's a possibility that I might not be there, because I may not know that you need me in a serious manner. So from that, I want to share that you have to take the time to look back over the person that you're having a relationship with. Look back over at the person that they are. If you feel that they're doing something out of character, something that you're not understanding, like you feel like they're not being there for you and they've always been there for you, or there's something just totally out of character, then stop and think about, have I expressed to them exactly what it is that I need? Because this isn't typical of that person. this person wouldn't normally they wouldn't blow me off. They would be there. So maybe that's an opportunity for you to say, did I make myself clear? Or, you know, even so far as that, okay, she's not getting it. Let me just go and, you know, like stand in front of her and say, hey, I need you. That's okay, because you can do that when you're having a relationship with someone. And even if you feel like you're communicating with the person and they're not there. When I say that you can go to that person and get in their face, I'm not meaning like get in their face yelling and screaming. I mean sitting down like adults and talking it through, saying, hey friend, I don't know if you were understanding what I meant, but I need you right now. I need you to be there for me. I need you to do A, B, and C for me. But talk to that person in a normal tone. And as that person's receiving, they also need to receive from you in that normal tone. Yelling and words can be so hateful. So you have to be very careful at how you put your words together. Come to the conclusion that they're not being there for you the way that you want them to be. When you're talking to that person, make sure that you're using your words wisely, that you're saying that you're not in the form of yelling, you're not being accusative, you're not using foul language, you're not saying hurtful things to them. Because let's face it, once you say certain things, words come out of your mouth, you cannot take them back. So if you blurt out hateful words, saying mean, ugly things to someone, once they're said, they're not going to come back. That person has hurt them now, and that person's going to hold them inside. And that's the honest to goodness truth. I know no matter how we as people can say, you know, I said I'm sorry, but you know, I always use scenarios of my own personal life, and I'll share something with you. I was in an abusive marriage that was not only physical, but it was also verbal. Now, here I am years later. All of that has moved on out of my life, and I'm so, you know, I'm so not there anymore. But I will honestly say to you that the bruises that were left from the physical, they went away. And I honestly don't know that, like, when I think about, if I were to try to think about how I got a specific bruise, I could, you know, if I try hard enough, obviously I can tell you, but the physical feeling that I got from the bruise, I can't really tell you at that moment. But I can tell you that when I had verbal abuse done to me, hurtful words being said to me, things that were being said to me that were just darn right mean and abusive, those I live it every day. And I think that may be why this particular incident bothered me so much, was because it set me back to when I was receiving verbal abuse, of how like a person felt so entitled that they could just say anything to me. They could put me down. They could, you know, call me out of my name and say hurtful, harsh things to me, and feel like that I don't even have a right to even defend myself. I don't even have a right to explain myself, that you just need to listen to what I say to you about how I think about you, and that's it. And that's what I got from that. And I can remember at some point I got a little bit angry, because I was like, how dare you? You're putting me back in a place that I don't want to be, and I don't have to sit here and listen to you talk to me that way. So it's very important that we're careful how we say certain things, how we come across to other people. When you're having an argument with a person that you're in a relationship with, I always say the first thing that you need to do is just have a conversation with God. Say, God, I need you to be the words as they come out of my mouth today. Help me to be able to relay myself in a way that we can get through this, and not where it come off in some type of a way. And as you're saying those words, really reflect and really think about how you would want that person to talk to you. And I guarantee you it's going to help you as you bring those words up. I'm not saying don't say the things that you're feeling. Just be careful at how you're relaying the things that you're feeling. And don't be quick to call a person out of their name. Don't, you know, those type of things, they don't really resolve anything. They just make matters worse. And then I also want to talk about ending an argument, or how do you separate yourself from an argument. You know, so often when people are on a phone call and they're having an argument, it's often done. You say what you got to say, and then click, you hang the phone up. You don't have nothing else to say to that person. You're done. You don't care whether the other person had anything to say. You're just done with your conversation, and you hang up on them and you're done. Or if you're face to face with that person and you're saying your piece and they're saying their piece maybe, and then you get to a point where you just feel like, you know what, I've said my piece, I'm done, I'm gonna walk out the door, and the door slams behind you. Now, how is that wrong? Why is it okay for us to have a conversation with someone and just hang up on them? It's not okay. If you're on a phone call with someone and you're having an argument with them and you're saying, and even if you're ending a relationship, even if you're saying we're just not going to be able to work this out, we're through, end it in a rational, reasonable way. Do not click and hang up on them, because that within itself sets things to another whole level, that you left that person feeling even more confused, even more. Walk away from a relationship with dignity and respect. Finalize that phone call. Just say, you know what, we're never going to agree on this. I've made my decision. I no longer want to be your friend. I no longer want to be in this relationship. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye now, and say goodbye, and then hang up the phone. Or if you're in that person's presence and you're having a heated moment, and you have decided that even then, I don't want the friendship, whatever the case may be, don't just walk out the door and allow the door to slam behind you. End with dignity, end with respect. Remember that even if you don't agree, that person deserves just as much respect as you feel like you deserve to yourself. Do not, it's not right for you to just go off on a person and excuse yourself from the situation. I'm sharing with you all because this is how the relationship I had ended. I never got my voice. I never got a chance to speak. I never got a chance to say anything. When it was all said and done, it ended. The friendship was gone, and I've never had a chance to speak my piece. Not at no given point was it that she took the time to think about the type of person that I am, that I would never blow her off. She never wanted to hear any form of explanation that I had to offer, and the communication was definitely not there. So that often is how so many relationships end. People walk away from each other, best friends, husband and wives, and they never reach that point of where they can actually, where anybody understands and knows exactly what happened, because you get so heated up and so worked up on just making sure that your side of the story is heard, that you don't realize that there is another person out there that deserves just as much as respect as you feel like you deserve. So I think that if we as people kind of remember that, I think that will help us out as we go through our day-to-day living. Now, I did say that, I have washed my hands of this. I'm no longer worried by it. I'm no longer stressed out by it. And I'm not. Does it still hurt? Yes, it does. This was a beautiful friendship, a beautiful 30 years of us being together. And I've had to, there are times that since this all happened that I want to pick up the phone and share with her, good, bad, and indifferent, because that's what we've always done as a friend. And I very quickly realized I don't have that friendship. It's not there anymore. But yeah, so anyway, it's like I said, it's over and it's done with. The decision has been made. I don't know that there is one other thing that I am struggling with a little bit, and I do want to share that with y'all. Now, when I spoke about knowing what type of friends you have, knowing that person, because I feel that our friendship was way more than something that would end this way, I am struggling with that. Is she going through something that's so dramatic and so big that she doesn't know how to share it with me? And for that, I am struggling with me not trying to reach out to her anymore. Like me just saying, I'm walking away from it. I'm no longer going to push the issue. I'm not going to try to be her friend. It's made clear that she doesn't want to be my friend. But there's this little voice inside my head that's saying to me, but everything that happened was so out of character from your friend. There has to be something that she's going through, and maybe you need to be there as a friend. So I am praying on that. I'm asking God to guide me through that. So as I sit here in front of this camera, I'm not saying that I won't ever talk to her again, or I won't ever reach out to her again, because I do feel in my heart that I know her better than that. And because some of the things that she was saying did not make any sense to me. She was referring to me the way I was treating her, and then, you know, to refer back to my text messages. And when I looked through all of the text messages, everything was the opposite. There was me reaching out to her, me trying to be a friend to her, yet the things that she was saying to me was that I wasn't reaching out and I wasn't trying to be a friend, and I was being selfish and all these horrible things, and it just didn't add up. It doesn't add up at all. I just, you know, as of right now, I do feel that I can't be involved in it. I have really just got to take this time to just do this for myself. That I just need to take this time away from the relationship and be okay with it. And I am doing that, but I can't promise you that I won't reach back out at some form and try to make, you know, try to mend this friendship, or at least, and not so much mend the friendship, because honestly, there's been some hurtful things that have been said, and I don't know that, like I said, words can be pretty harsh, and I don't know if I can go back so easily, but at least I want to make sure that she's at peace. I want to make sure that she's good, because that's the person that I am. If there's something that she's going through, I want her to know that, you know, I will be there. You know, that is who I am. I would never, because I do call her my friend, and I have called her my friend for all these years, I would never walk away and not be there for a friend. So I do know that is one of the things that's so important to me. But for now, I'm just gonna excuse myself from the situation, and I hope this has proven to be somewhat of a learning experience with you all. Like I said, I do try to take everything that happens to me in life as a learning experience, and I also always ask God to guide me through it, and I felt the need that I needed to share this with you all today. So this time I'd like to extend out a warm welcome to you to subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. And if you feel the need to chime in below, feel free to chime in below. But remember, I always have said this, but sometimes when I do certain videos, I do like to preface it by saying comments must be in good taste only, because even though this was a bad situation, I still love this friend, and I don't want anything to be said in lieu of being mean and ugly. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my very next video. Bye.